Hello and welcome, or welcome back. We're doing D&D things. Now, they say that revenge is a dish best served cold, or was it justice? I can't really remember. I'm sure at least one of the players is going to have some strong opinions one way or the other, but we'll see how that goes. Speaking of which, no announcements to push, so we're just going to get right into doing D&D things and meet the players.
Hi, CLIO. Nice to meet you.
Good to be back. See what I missed.
STIRIA is our Judas. She will be destroyed. I shall make her. She shall suffer 1,000 deaths. She will be made the ultimate servant of Zerris. She dare betray the Great One. I shall make sure that she suffers every meaningful death I can give her. I will never let her live.
Always sucks whenever you have to levy justice against one of your own. Unfortunately, today is the day, and it's never any easier.
Peace, RA-THERIS, peace. Judas though she may be, who are we to pass judgment? We leave that for the gods.
Yeah, some choice words indeed. This does bring the question though, is why all the passion, Zerris? Why all the passion from your compatriot here? What happened?
Well, I'm glad you asked. When last we met, NIAM was tending to the children, making sure that they were safe, per mine, STIRIA's, and RA-THERIS' request, as we chased down some leads to find this murderer. As we've been doing so for some time, we seem to be the only individuals that are really caring about the safety of this town. We had some interrogations done at the local bathhouse last. I think it's a brothel. I don't know. They keep eyeing me, and it makes me uncomfy.
It must be. STIRIA goes there all the time. Only she.
Oh my god.
Do something.
We interrogated some individuals. We used Cast Zone of Truth, and to be quite frank, we didn't gather a whole lot of information from that. However, thanks to some legwork done by RA-THERIS found what we believe to be the murderer in that moment. Thanks to the brand that I'd received from RA-THERIS, I was able to communicate with him through the message spell at even a greater distance. When asked what would be done, there was some split decisions that needed to be made in the moment. As such, RA-THERIS began to dispatch the individual. Thankfully, we were on our way, and when we had found him, RA-THERIS was still in one piece, and I took up my mace in the name of justice and goodness against this individual, to which our companion STIRIA had some trepidations against. We dispatched the individual. He fought, I hesitate to say valiantly, in the face of a murderer, but he did fight well. But he was unfit to continue existing on this mortal coil. As such, when his soul left his body, we gathered up a trinket. This, I believe it was a wolf pendant, correct?
It was actually a stone.
It was a stone around his neck. To which I swiftly gave to RA-THERIS. STIRIA demanded that I lay down my arms, to which I complied. And I am now being taken to a tribunal of my peers at the Order of the Violet Rose for judgment. As I was walking, RA-THERIS informed me that there was a body found in this individual's basement, confirming our beliefs that he indeed was the murderer. He was not dead, he was merely unconscious. So when asked what RA-THERIS should do with the body, with the unconscious man, I bid him to kill him. And so now I await judgment for my actions.
Yeah. See, man, you miss us for 2 sessions, and the moral compass just goes out the window.
Y'all
moral
need mother
compass is
very,
here.
very badly.
No, the moral compass is here. It is STIRIA who has lost her compass.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lord.
So, as you said, so I suppose we'll start at the scene of the crime, as it were. RA-THERIS, you were left behind with the body, and if I recall correctly, you were going to be attempting to identify the stone after you had dispatched this individual. Now I do recall that as his life went out, the light emanating from that stone went out with it.
Correct. And I shall attempt the identify spell
Okay.
on it.
Are you going to do it as a ritual or just?
I don't have it prepared, so I have to.
Ah, lovely. Yeah. Good fun with wizards. No, so you are able to do this. And you are able to learn some things for this. And so it's not exactly a unnamed magical item, so I can't really give you that information there. But you can determine that it was attuned to this individual, and that it had 2 effects. One that was used to both of these. I'm sorry, requiring a trigger word, a command word, as it were, to activate. The first of which would more or less suppress the effects of lycanthropy, whereas the opposite command word would do the opposite and essentially turn the dial, instead of turning the dial down, would turn it all the way up, potentially taking control of the user away in the process. But that remains to be seen, since you can't really ask the individual how that experience went. So
It's debatable. But I have my confirmation. I was right. It was a werewolf. I shoot that message off to Zerris. If I don't expect it to get to him, because I imagine that they traitor STIRIA threw him in the deepest, darkest hole she could find. But I also know that they were likely she would likely send guards here, and I will be able to explain that.
I see. So yeah, I suppose that does bring up the next question: is the notification of the town guard. RA-THERIS, did you plan on doing this, or is this something that STIRIA will be taking care of?
She told me she was going to send the guards when she left. And I will cast what's the spell? Disguise self at 2nd level, so I don't scare them. Though I'm gonna have the familiar shrink down. Though I understand we aren't showing that, so I'm not gonna bother with the tokens at all.
Fair enough.
So the familiar shrinks down to its smallest size. I'm gonna get rid of the ice, and and then I'm going to have the familiar open the latch that was found. Because I'm
yes.
not doing that shit. Because
Yes.
I seeped through there as goo, and I need to make the guards be able to go in there.
So essentially opening the floorboard panel for them.
Yeah,
So,
because I suspect I'm not a rogue. I don't know traps. I'm not that. That wasn't my job. My job was to protect Zerris' body. So I'm having the familiar do it. I'm gonna take a nice, wide berth of it, over by the fireplace, and have the familiar open it just to make sure.
Fair enough. The door itself opens just as you would expect a door to open.
Cool.
There were no such traps on this door. It's almost like somebody lives here.
Never know. You might never know. Never know. There might have been a glyph. I don't know. There was a magic user, and this thing didn't make him be able to shapeshift. So
Hmm.
As far as I know, there could be an accomplice.
Maybe. Maybe. Remains to be seen.
Indeed, it does. Yeah, so I'll be
So
waiting for the guards.
copy that. So we're gonna hop over real quick to Styria and Zerris. Styria, you're able to get him over to the what, I forget the name of it. I'm sorry, I drew a blank on that.
The
The
steeple, I
order.
think. Yeah, the chapter
Steeple?
house.
Chapter
The steeple.
house. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, you're able to take him over to the chapter house without incident. The bringing him in. Now, before we get there, actually, was there anything between you two on the way?
What do you think is the next step, Styria?
Well, you're gonna have to answer for the excessive use of force that you used. That much is for certain. That said, you will not be answering to the guards. You will be answering to our order.
As it should be.
I'm gonna be quite frank. I do not trust them to handle you with a fair shake.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity for fairness, Styria, and if anyone is going to bring me to justice, I'm glad it's you.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
I'll do so.
I know you're not a fan of this. I know I'm not a fan of this. Let's just get this done and over with.
Arriving at the chapter house, you go inside. Raj, everyone's favorite neighborhood loxodon, is as he always is, hard at work behind his desk. To which he looks his head up. Oh, did you need more magic rocks?
No, I have someone I need to arraign.
Oh, well, very well then. Bring them in.
It's me, Raj.
Oh, good heavens. This is quite awkward.
Where is it? I know I saw it somewhere. Where is it?
Styria, you had something?
I'm looking for the list of things.
Yes. So again, if you
Looks like
didn't have like an exact,
Looks like it got
reference-
erased. I thought we wrote it all down.
I mean, I have possibilities written down, but I would say to the best of your ability, then just just retell your tale. What happened?
Are you talking about the charges?
Yes.
Why is why is Styria bringing you here?
Charges
Oh, it's probably in here.
should
It's
be...
in the IC.
I see it.
Yeah, I see chat.
So the charges are more like that was more like out of character, so we could track things for later on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of more stuff
And
that'll come
then-
in on the back end. So it's
Yeah.
what did he do that made you bring him in? Is really the question here.
Primarily the excessive use of force and the attempted murder of a suspect.
I see. Very well. You can place him in one of the cells in the back, and I am going to need a full report on this. Thankfully, we have the deacon from Ridgehaven passing through tomorrow, so he should be able to handle the proceedings.
Understood.
But of course, I will still need the report.
That is entirely understandable. I will have that sent to you I will have that ready to you by close of business today.
Much appreciated.
And just look over to Zerris and it's like, come on.
I will follow.
Okay.
The sooner you're in the cell, the sooner I can do my job.
Of course.
And I'm just going to go ahead and lead Zerris into the nearest available.
Yeah, there's excuse me, kind of like a back sectioned off room. There's
Yep.
only 2 cells back here. It's not something that they use very often. With the guard the guard barracks, or not barracks, their holding cells being used more predominantly, just because you get more people there than you do with the order dealing with things directly. So
Once he is properly secured, and we're talking manacles locking the iron bar door, the works.
Is all of this really necessary, Styria? I think the bars would suffice.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be following the procedure to the letter on this. Once again, I want to make sure you have the most fair shake.
As you wish.
And that means following every step.
now, notably, this this cell is a better accommodation than what you would see with the guard cells. The bedding, for starters, does not.
First off, you have an actual bed.
You have an actual bed, as opposed to just a mat on the floor that's soaked with. You hope it's just urine, but that's no such amenities are found here. Not the most comfortable by any means. Factoring on the cheaper side of the scale, so you can tell that the budget went to hopefully better things, but they're not scraping the bottom of the barrel, thankfully. Now, Styria, with this, I would imagine that in the process of you getting this here, you would have also given the location so that the guards could be sent.
Yes, but I'd be taking that to whoever is the knight in charge at the time. At the chapter house. I would notify them of a potential lead on the recent string of murders within Nye Point.
Mhm.
And then give the suspected location as well as the potential suspect being at that location as well.
Understood. So
Before-
right now, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Once I give that out, that'll give the coordination for the knights to send the guards to investigate the house. And then I need to go to the house where everybody else is at, and do some coordination there before going back to give the report.
Right. So Raj is the only one here. But upon receiving the report and the information from you, he's going to basically tie the scroll to the foot of an owl that's going to go to fly out one of the windows. Realize that Raj didn't open said window and kind of just like stop and sort of peck at the glass. And he'll reach over, open it, and then it just flies off in a hurry.
This Loxodon has a Loxodon of great character.
Love Rush.
So yeah, with that, so the order will be, or rather, the notice to the guards will have been sent and will be coordinated accordingly.
Yep.
Freeing up your schedule to go get your friends and do everybody's favorite thing after an incident and fill out a report.
Paperwork.
Bureaucracy for the win. Even in
It's the
fantasy,
best.
Even in fantasy, it would appear we can't escape it.
Best thing about being in prison is I don't have to do that shit.
Fair enough.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a prisoner. I don't know how to raid.
So yeah, short while later, RA-THERIS, a small garrison of guards, will be showing up at the house. 4 of them, to be exact. Just your standard fare, just after everything they heard, to their understanding, this man is still alive. So they come in. I would say guns blazing, but they don't have guns. So they charge through the
Sword
door.
strong.
Sword strong.
Ru-
Yeah, swords and spears at the ready. And then they enter the room, and what do they see?
They see RA-THERIS in his humanoid form, holding the item over the dead body on the corner. And I look up at them in my form that they had seen before, hoping that these are guards that had seen this individual, this form that I am in currently before.
At
Then-
least one of them has.
All right.
One of them was investigating the incident earlier today, so they do recognize you.
Okay, in which case, at that point, I'm going to explain what happened. You know, I found this person. Down there is the dead body of the girl. We wrongly executed her father. I'm gonna make sure they know that. Then I'm gonna say. Then, do they ask why he's dead?
Considering that they can't really see much as far as injuries on him, that does raise a question.
I mean, he's had several instances of inflict wound on him. I feel like he has
Right.
plenty of injuries.
As well as a bash to the brain.
To which I will, explain. Well, after that pixie used her magic on him, he expired.
Hmm.
I can confirm he was a lycanthrope. My theory was correct, and I'll take this moment to gloat that my theory was correct. That a lycan did it. As I am a wizard, and this item that I have was used to was used to control his lycanthropy.
So, as you're explaining this, they are going to send somebody down to investigate the body, down there, and then they will effectively ask you to surrender the scene over to them so that they can conduct what they need to do. Did you have any objection to this?
My primary objection is that this was a knight's order scene, and I do not have that authority. In order to do that, I would need a written passage from the order to be able to surrender this scene. I'm afraid they are free to look around as of right now,
Right. So,
but I cannot fully surrender the scene to them until they have written.
right. So at which point they will produce the paperwork from the order saying that this coordination happened through them.
Excellent. In which case, I will gladly surrender the scene. And if they have any questions about what happened, if they want a story, I'll tell them a story.
Yeah. So they're gonna work on getting the bodies to where they need to go, and setting up a perimeter, doing their whole spiel. And then they will also be looking to, I suppose, acquire would be the word here, but to take possession of the necklace as well, since if that was his possession, then keeping the things together, as it were.
Okay. To that, I'm afraid. Let's see. How do I want to word this? They have permission to take control of the scene. As the wizard who has identified this item, I will use my expertise to bullshit my way into saying it's dangerous and can infect you with lycanthropy if you're not careful, and I know how to avoid that.
Okay.
I understand if this requires some sort of role of
It
deception nature,
It will.
It definitely will.
and I shall do so in my not the best deception. 21.
Yeah, peasants don't know a lot about magic. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
And-
spooky magic. You're gonna grow hair in places that you don't have hair already.
and yeah, with these guys being no exception to that, they're definitely unsure about that. So they're gonna hold off on taking that from you, and they'll have somebody else come and get it later.
I will spout off some bullshit wizard qualifications. Like they should probably be an abjuration wizard. Like they're gonna know what that means, and just hit them with a bunch of random qualification. Like they need at least 3 years of abjuration experience in order to handle this properly. And I just happen to.
Hey.
Oh yeah, so they'll be working on excavating the body excavating, probably not the right term, but getting the bodies out of there, setting up the perimeter, doing their whole 9 yards, asking you questions, and all of that. While that is going on, Styria, you would have had time to make it back to the house by now.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and knock, expecting people to be there.
Niam, this would be the house where you are.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. So
Eh,
there's a knock at the door.
I'm gonna go
Very
get the door.
petite knock at the door.
That didn't sound very petite, but okay. Gonna go open the door.
And Styria, well, between you two, this is your scene.
Me, is Tanya available?
Yeah.
Tanya would have arrived back at the
Yeah.
house about an hour ago.
She's in the other room.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Can you bring her outside? I'd like to speak to her for a minute.
Where's everybody else?
Busy. And is going to be for another couple of days.
Why don't you come in and talk to Tanya?
I would rather not have the kids involved.
Oh God! All right, Tanya, gotta go outside.
And she'll come around the corner. Yeah. Oh, Styria, where's everybody else?
As I had explained to NIAM, they're busy. They're going to be busy for the next couple of days, I fear.
Oh, no.
Oh
No.
I am terribly sorry to ask you of this, but could you keep an eye on the kids for a while?
Of course.
I'm gonna be out of pocket while I'm dealing with this investigation.
Investigation. Okay. What did the slimy guy do?
It wasn't the slimy guy.
I mean,
Oh,
it's one of the slimy guys.
As far as STIRIA is concerned, you're nothing more than an accessory who is following orders. So,
I was talking about Zerris being slimy, but
I mean, yeah, but
that was not a character dig at Zerris's character.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
afraid this involves our
yeah.
friend.
What happened?
If you would be willing to accompany me, I can explain along the way. But Tanya, I'm gonna need you to look over the kids for just a little while longer. Again, I am truly sorry to have to ask you to do this.
No.
But-
Please do what you need to do. I will take care of the kids.
You are a godsend. Thank you so much.
So actually, as you're getting ready to leave the house, Styria, you recognize a familiar individual approaching the house, wearing really just little more than a fur coat that you would imagine is not nearly warm enough for this weather. Is Charity.
I'm just gonna look over with a bit of a curious look, and it's just like, I wonder what convinced you to donate your presents to us.
Well, word travels fast around here, so I figured I'd come and find you and save you the trouble of coming to find me. First, this. She'll take out just a pouch of coins that you saw Zerris hand to her earlier, and she will hand it over to you.
I think I don't understand why you're giving me money though.
Well, I don't. I figured you were going to be finding your friend, and I couldn't in good conscience take his coin. It's not for that kind of service anyway. I managed to find some information that he was looking for, but charging for that just didn't sit right. He could have just asked nicely.
He's probably not too shrewd around the ladies.
Did I miss? What?
Not
Why are we passing around bags of gold? What?
this was Sir Zerris' doing. This fine young lady just decided to return the money because she felt like it wasn't needed.
He paid you to do what?
To my understanding, he had provided you the funds in order to help you locate information,
Shush.
correct?
Information on what?
He wanted me to try and find any information that might help the investigation.
And
I work
you
over at the bathhouse, which we have some extra services on the side, and some people like to share some more information to said services.
extra services on the side. Yeah. Men's mouths open when they have other things. Yeah, never mind. Anyways,
You get the idea. Well, I was able to dig up rather, a little bit more, but wanted to at least return the coin, but also I did want to apologize if we didn't seem the most helpful this morning. Miss Longquan, she is
You've had your
Just-
reasons. That's
well
plenty for me.
With a little
right?
bit of persuasion, we ended up shutting down for the day shortly after that, and we will be holding a vigil tonight if you would like to attend.
vigil for what?
One of their employees had passed.
Past is maybe not the most accurate term, but yes.
But it is the most dignified.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. This all happened this morning after you guys left, so I don't think anybody had filled me in on that part
Yeah.
of the day. So, Styria, if you want to get her up to speed.
The offer still stands. If you would like to tag along, I can fill you in on what happened while we were busy.
Where are we going?
We need to go to the chapter house. I need to make a report. I need to make a report.
Report for what? Let's go. What are you making a report on?
Something I do not like having to do.
Go ahead, tell her.
Then why are you doing it? What are you What is
Because it's
going
my job.
on?
As soon as we're out of earshot of the house, I'm gonna look at her and just go like, I had to arraign Zerris today for unlawful use of force.
You had to do what?
I had to arraign Zerris for the unlawful use of force and attempted murder of a suspect.
What suspect?
The suspect that was killing everybody else in the town.
So he used too much force to take down a killer, and you're doing what now?
Because he didn't stop using force after we had already incapacitated the individual.
You've never lost your temper so much that you saw red?
As a knight, it's my duty to show restraint. As a knight, it is all of our duty to show restraint. So
You're having your friend tried.
It helps not by the guards, because I don't trust the guards.
No, that doesn't help. If you don't trust the guards of your own order, then why are we having
Not
him?
my own order, of course. I'm talking about the guards in the
outward.
village.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't trust the guards in the village, but you're going to trust your order, which has let the town go to shit. Make that make sense.
I trust them more than I trust the guards who are willing to interrogate, try, convict, and hang a man within the span of 12 hours.
But you just handed over your supposed friend for stopping a killer.
Let's walk and talk. Let's walk.
We're walking. We're walking and talking. And I'm not understanding your train of logic.
I just typed up my argument.
He stopped a killer.
But then proceeded to continue even after being told to stand down.
Did you try to think that maybe some outside force was affecting him? You just instantly decided, no, he fucked up, so I'm going to hand him over to the authorities, which we're supposed to trust because, oh my God, they're your order that hasn't done shit in this town, obviously, because we have a house full of orphan children that they didn't even notice. But they're supposed to be taking care of them. You've got children who are afraid of this order that is supposed to take care of people and the town. And you just handed your supposed friend over to this order.
At least with the knights, my friend won't be dead by the end of the evening.
You couldn't have just let this go and handled this amongst us? You just took this leap of faith for these people who are obviously incompetent and handed your, again, supposed friend, this man you've been traveling with for how long? This man you have worked with for how long? He made one mistake
Long
and you
enough for this
handed
to
him.
hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt too much because you handed him over easy enough.
It hurts enough.
I feel like every guard in this town needs to take a point of emotional damage.
So, okay, now what's the possibilities? Okay, we're going to put him on trial, and because he lost his temper, what? He's going to lose his life in this fucked up town because they're all insane?
With the knights, absolutely not.
How do you know that? These people have ignored this town and the things going on in it. Where's this blind faith coming from?
Well, for one, the fact that we have a proper judicial system as opposed to...
You have a proper judicial system. Okay. But they let the guards go.
Right, if I can speak.
Psycho in this town.
If I can speak.
Speak what? You make no sense. Make it make sense to me. Go ahead. I'll be quiet for about 5 seconds, so make it make sense quick. Because you just seriously stuck your dick in a blender and crucified your friend.
Whole what you speak out of character, what you speak makes sense remark just shut STIRIA down. She's like, we'll deal with this at the chapter house. I'm not talking right now. If I'm not going to be given the chance to speak, then I will not speak.
I told you speak. Go ahead, make it make sense.
We'll speak at the chapter house.
Okay. And how does one press charges against you for being an idiot? And turning his back on his friend?
Her.
Yeah,
So anyways, we're
All right.
on our way back to The chapter house. Considering the schism between player and character, that's totally understandable. I don't care.
No. So real quick before we get too much further, we're gonna turn our lens on our new friend here, CLIO. Oh yeah, I'm
Welcome
calling
to the
on
family, CLIO.
you. Hope you've been taking notes. No, I'm kidding. So as these two are going through the town, you live in this town. You've lived here for a good while, so you know there's been a string of murders recently. There was a really just out of the fucking ordinary blizzard that came through, just completely out of season and really weird. A lot of weird things, and with your residency in the inn, you hear people talk. So you know something's going on. You may have even seen some of these individuals in there when they were poking around and asking questions. And so I suppose my first question to you is, how curious are you? Like, are you trying to stick your nose where it probably doesn't belong?
Maybe.
That smile tells me quite a few things there. Well, you're in luck because it would appear that STIRIA and NIAM were not being very sneaky or subtle with their conversation onto the chapter house. So you would have been able to catch wind, at least, of the conversation that they had. So there's a couple ways you could go about doing it, but I guess the real question is are you going to try to follow them? And if you do, are you trying to be sneaky about it? Or are you just, hey, I'm going to follow you now? What is going on?
I'd essentially just be like tailing them a couple of feet behind. Not necessarily being sneaky about it, just kind of walking a few feet behind. Just following along, looking around, taking my daily walk. That's fine. That's
Making
all.
my way downtown.
Walking fast. Running errands.
Yeah. Okay. So not really trying to be super sneaky, just sneaky enough to be casual and unnoticed.
Yep. I could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
Pun intended.
Just wanted to clear that up. So as they arrive to the charter house or chapter house, it is a charter chapter. Chapter. Okay, thank you. So you guys are just going to, I would imagine, walk right in and begin your process there.
I would,
But yeah, please.
since we're waiting on the deacon to file the formal report, I'll go ahead and talk to Raj and explain everything from the top as to what happened. Out of character, basically following the recap from Stiria's end.
Right. To which, of course, Raj is going to be taking notes here because effectively, and he'll explain this to you. Effectively, how this is going to go down is the report's going to be prepared. The deacon is going to review the report and then speak to both of you, and then decide on, essentially, make their decisions from there.
If I make but one request,
Of course.
when he speaks to me, I request that a zone of truth be placed up so that I can speak with utmost transparency.
Oh, yes.
I do not want my bias interfering with this.
No, of course. And actually, being a member of the order, you would know that a zone of truth is standard procedure for such things. Now, CLIO, they have gone inside in this house. So it appears there's quite a literal door in your way now.
Oh, I'm gonna walk in.
Just gonna walk inside. Nice. Now, as you do, naturally they'll be able to see you now. You're a lot less subtle than you were. So could you tell us what we see as you walk in?
Uh, this kind of short, very strange satyr. Just random satyr.
Random satyr.
Short
I like
hair and dressed appropriately. In satyr terms.
it.
Make of that what you will.
Ready to party, but also warm.
Indeed.
She'd be
So
kind of just like looking around.
it is your scene, ladies and gentlemen.
I would likely be busy filing that report. Suppose it's between CLIO and NIAM.
Can I help you?
Huh?
Did you need something?
Oh, I heard that there's gonna be a trial going on, so I figured I'd come by. You know, witnesses and such.
Why?
Well, every trial needs a witness.
You,
Or is it a jury? I think it's a jury.
I think you need to go play in the snow.
Why would I do that?
You did. Oh my god. Is Raj sitting there?
Oh yeah, he's kind of like he's working on the paperwork, but he'll look up every once in a while. I'll be with you in just a moment.
Can I see Zerris while you deal with the half-wit?
Like, yeah, it's pretty much straight down the hall. There's a door there, and then the aforementioned cells.
I'd imagine he'd be watched over by someone.
There's only Raj here.
There's only Raj.
Get it in your head. There's
That's right.
only Raj here.
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
You're good.
It's
Oh, yeah.
always only been Raj.
Yeah, and there's only one door in or out to that place.
At
So
the end of the
they
heat
kinda
death
have
of the
to go-
universe, there will only be Raj.
Right.
I'll look around
Cool.
the room and just find a chair and sit down.
Have fun with that. She's gonna go through the door to go find Zerris.
So yeah, Styria, you are able to go through your report. Raj will work down. You know, if he messes something up, he'll like line through it, draw right next to it. This process takes some time. Raj likes to be thorough,
Actually, good because
as you should with
sparing no detail.
Oh yeah, as you should with matters such as this. NIAM, you're able to go back and speak with Zerris.
Am I chained? I'm manacled and behind bars, right? But I'm not
You're
like,
manacled behind bars, but you're not chained. to
okay,
the
but I'm
wall.
not like chained to the wall or anything. Kick ass. All right,
No,
cool.
no. No.
What happened?
I am. Apologies. As I said yesterday, I think I've been making a very poor first impression.
I don't care about first impression, second impression. What happened? Because currently, right now, the little thing in the other room is going to end up stuck under a rock for the rest of her life if I have my way.
Bear no ill will towards
Oh.
Styria. She's
Little thing.
she's doing what she thinks is right, which is more than I can say for a great many deal of people in the town.
Which is the problem. They've been ignoring everything, so she brings you here thinking you're going to get a fair trial because you lost your temper with a killer.
Oh, I didn't lose my temper, NIAM. To be very clear, I was very aware of what I was doing. And it is truly right and just that STIRIA brought me here to question my actions. But I do stand by them. I hold no regret. And when they set me before the tribunal, I will speak my piece. Whether it is fair or not is of no concern of mine. I know that it is difficult to hear, believe me. I was not so long ago that I was in a very similar situation that you are in. And I hated hearing it, but it's true, the advice that I was given. Have faith, NIAM. I think you're muted.
I'm not muted.
Okay.
Have faith in what?
Me.
You're going to magically get out of this? What is the punishment for losing your temper?
As I said, I didn't lose my temper.
Okay, then what is the punishment for almost killing a killer?
He should be dead. All things considered, if things are done correctly and in proper time, he is dead. As far as the punishment, I'm sure the tribunal will have me watched, perhaps imprisoned. There's always the worst case scenario, which is death, but I don't imagine that will be the case here. I don't imagine I'll be getting any form of punishment today, NIAM. As I said, I stand by my actions and my words. I am confident my words will reach the right ears.
Yeah, well, I'm not confident in friends turning on their friends like this.
Again, STIRIA is doing what she thought was right. I implore you to forgive her. I implore you to bear her no ill will. I don't. She's doing the right thing.
You're a far better person than I am.
That is, I believe, the exact question that is up for debate here.
This could have been handled amongst us. She didn't have to turn you in to have you locked in a cell.
STIRIA is...
Especially with incompetent people.
STIRIA is a holy woman, and this is all she knows. Unlike myself, or Derek, or perhaps even you. Again, I don't know you that well, NIAM. But think of it, it's like RA-THERIS. RA-THERIS, up until very recently, didn't understand his own free will. STIRIA is very similar. These types of people only know one way and one path to pursue, and that's fine. And sometimes that path is right, sometimes that path is wrong, but we shouldn't fault them for it.
I fault people for not thinking for themselves.
Well, at the end of the day, today specifically, perhaps we can show them that. And show them that they do have free will, and that the free thought is a gift not to be squandered.
So when is this trial, and how long do you have to sit here?
With it only being Raj, I would imagine they will either gather the locals, local members of our order, or perhaps magic them in somehow.
Actually, Zerris, you would have heard this bit being talked about earlier, that the deacon is expected to arrive tomorrow.
Excellent.
At which point he can oversee the proceedings.
I will convey this.
So
But what-
really only the night behind bars.
A single night. It's not much to endure. And trust me, I've endured much worse. You met Derek, was very briefly, we were inclined to get into worse situations.
I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I don't understand this. This is not how you do things. What am I supposed to tell the kids?
That I will see them in a single day.
Just staying the night at a friend's house.
And on the off chance that this goes really, really south, because that's the kind of town we're in, what would you like me to do with the children?
DM, did they confiscate my things?
So
there wasn't
during
a
the
whole lot to confiscate in reality.
There wasn't a whole lot to confiscate. The biggest thing would have been your weapons.
My weapon,
or any
really
your
kind of
weapon,
looking.
general equipment.
I have my weapon, my amulet, and my coin purse. Really, that's it.
Yeah.
In that instance, most likely just the weapon and the amulet, since they're used to working with divine casters, so they're aware of the holy symbol being used as a focus. So.
I will take my coin purse and through the bars I will pass it to NIAM. It is 67 gold pieces. Use...
Oh, by the way, the trader was given a bag of your gold by some hooker that you paid at the bathhouse.
Oh.
Raider.
Oh,
Hooker.
Again, not giving the best first impressions in the past few days. It isn't what you think, and...
No, she was supposed to get information, but she felt weird, so she gave your gold to the trader, but I don't think she should have it, so whatever. But just so you know, so it doesn't magically disappear.
That's fine. Take this, and I'll press the pouch into your hands, and 67 gold pieces, and I'll... If I have every confidence this is going to go in my favor, I am willing to bet my life, very, very soul on this.
We're not betting your soul.
For your peace of mind, take this pouch of gold, and if the children need anything, that should buy a few... That should get them through the winter at the very least, with everything else that they've been supplied. And then you're free to do whatever you wish, NIAM.
I'm not leaving the kids.
Then you are a far better person than most.
Oh my god, okay. You need to just get out of this. And if you need a character witness or a witness to say that the traitor is an idiot, then I'm your person.
Perhaps with a little more kind language. We are dealing with holy people here, but that would be appreciated.
So lucky my father taught me regalness. Okay. I will be polite to the holy people.
Have faith.
Okay.
Oh, that's great.
And
I think this all pans out.
Find,
Sorry, Zerris.
if you can, wherever RA-THERIS has disappeared to after his tasks, please tell him to contain himself. Maintain proper form and function. He's going to be quite upset.
Supposed to get him to behave
Tell
when
him,
you're sitting in here.
Tell him it was a request.
From his master?
A stern request from a friend.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Got it. Stand down. Behave.
I just worry. Yes, precisely.
Sure. I'll get right up. Where is he?
Well, he should have left the scene of my crime. and be either on his way back. I asked him to check on you and the children, and then from there, who's to
From
say?
there, he's gonna ooze his way into the cell and release you.
Well, then he will be my problem, and I will deal with him then. But if you encounter him, then please let him know to relax, have faith, all the things I told you, and
Sure, he's
not
gonna go for that
murder
one.
anyone.
Good luck. You better. The traitor probably stay out of his sight. Would be a
That
really
would
good
be-
idea.
That would be best. That would be best. And again, she's not a traitor. She's just doing what she thinks is right.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go deal with children and not talk to the twit that's in the front.
Thank you for
I don't
your
have the
confidence.
patience for this today. I just don't. Y'all need mothers or something.
STIRIA, you are able to finish up all the details of the report, double and triple checking them, as I'm sure that you would. And with that, Raj will keep the documents for presenting to the deacon in the morning when he arrives. He does it since the deacon has arrived to arrive in the morning. I've got a cat. Yeah. So more or less expecting a lunchtime trial.
We'll probably end up staying the night at the chapter house just to ensure.
That's fair. And as CLIO, you would know this, that any such trials are public affairs, as it were. So even though on a smaller scale, you would be allowed to come and go as you please, provided that you're not disruptive to the trial.
Quiet as a mouse.
So, with that, was there anything? Are you guys going to try to find RA-THERIS tonight? What is the plan?
I
there?
have to go find RA-THERIS.
Oh, RA-THERIS, where can we find you?
RA-THERIS was told to check on the kids and NIAM, and he will do so.
That makes
Discreetly, primarily, in this instance. Through the walls, basically, initially, for the kids, just to check on them. You know, the token checking on them. However, with NIAM not being in the room, now he has to find NIAM to, succeed in his order. And then immediately after he finds NIAM, he will begin his request for further orders. Let's say it with Zerris.
Okay.
So him and his familiar will begin searching for NIAM while she is searching for RA-THERIS. How thick would you say the walls are on that cell?
I would say that they are at least a foot thick.
Interesting.
There might also be the possibility that the cell's probably on the inside section of the chapter house, as opposed to connected to the outside.
I don't know. It's not a very big building.
It's not a very big building, but that is about a foot of stone.
1 foot of stone. Excellent. I can message through that.
Ah. Nice.
Just ooze through the cracks.
Well, yes, I could ooze through the cracks. Messaging. I could also teleport into the room. But I'm going to message to that to talk to him initially. But first, I must find you so I can fulfill that order and make sure you are alive.
I would say with a little bit of time, you're able to find each other.
Excellent. Immediately start slandering STIRIA.
Wasting no time.
Yeah, I got it. The traitor's an idiot, but I just saw Zerris. And you are supposed to stand down, have faith, and believe in him.
Understood. His plans are ineffable.
He's going to speak his spiel tomorrow to some deacon, I don't know, some dude that's coming into town. And it's all going to be a fair trial.
Unlikely.
I agree.
In which case, we should be in coordinating terrorist actions.
What the fuck?
That escalated very quickly.
It hasn't escalated.
Oh, no fair trial? Okay, cool. Burn, Bakudan!
I feel
Considering
like
that
they're
it's
gonna raise the town and salt the earth if I put this man to death.
considering that it's only Raj in there. It's only him. So let's see how this trial goes, and then we'll go from there. Because I was specifically told to tell you to stand down and behave. Do not overreact. Do not salt the earth. Do not scorch the world. Do not ooze through the walls and save him until he goes through the trial. And then if they try to kill him, we will make sure that that does not happen. And stay away from her for right now. Because she's doing what she knows is best.
What she knows is best is inadequate.
I completely agree. She knows that you turn on your friends. That's comforting.
Yes.
Hand your
She would not
friend over to inept idiot. Yes, that's wonderful. Let's all do that with our lives because we blindly follow. This is why you, sir, need to learn to stop being so stuck. He's not your master. He's not your leader. He's not your guide. You have a mind of your own, and you need to start using it, or you're going to turn into that.
I would never betray Zerris.
I understand that, but it's the same thing. She blindly believes that the order is the way to be. And because he lost his temper and overstepped his bounds, she decided that the order could put him on trial. And that is the only way you go. The order says, the order says, the order says. You're doing the exact same thing. Zerris says, Zerris. Think for yourself.
Your complaints have been noted.
Oh, Christ. I can't. Okay.
Request. Will you accept my mark?
What?
Oh boy! Fuck.
You didn't understand a word I just said, did you?
You instructed me to be a free-willed individual, of which I exercised free will earlier today, when I disobeyed Zerris' order.
What order? You actually disobeyed an order?
Indeed, he told me to remove myself from the crime scene. I did not remove myself from the crime scene, and instead interrogated the individual.
Interrogated what individual?
The lycanthrope.
Oh, dear God.
It was a lycanthrope. I was correct. Yay.
I don't
Okay.
remember much of an interrogation, but
So,
I interrogated his corpse.
where's
I interrogated his body.
where's the rest of them?
You
They don't-
interrogated his bowels, is what you did.
The rest of them?
It is not typical that they're alone.
Unfortunately, that was not discerned. They perished beforehand after STIRIA did their magic on them.
Wait, whoa. Out. Hold on. Back the truck up. So, the traitor killed somebody.
I cannot verify that. STIRIA did magic and they expired.
God
closer
fucking
we
damn it,
back.
RA-THERIS.
How far are we from the order
It's in the
building?
center of town, so not far.
It's not too far.
She's
Not too far.
turned. Okay, back to the order. We're going to the order. Nope. We're not. No, I'm not playing this game. Nope. She's marching her ass right back to the order.
I guess I'm following. Because that's where Zerris is, and my goal is to obtain further instructions.
Oh my god, the junkla!
Where the fuck is CLIO in all this?
She's in the order house, sitting there in front of Raj.
Yo.
Cleo is drinking her tea.
And I will say, Raj makes a decent cup of tea, so you have actual tea to go with that.
Hey.
And despite the amount of body hair he has, he is quite proficient at getting none of that in the tea. It's always a plus.
You.
Yeah, that would be gross.
You.
Proverbial and literal.
Right.
So you're able to make it back to the charter house.
And the door flies open.
Door
Oh
flies
my
open.
god, Mama got the
Oh.
junkla! Mama got the junkla!
You're seen.
Raj, your knight in tarnished armor at this point. I want charges pressed against STIRIA for using magic on someone and then they died. So let's go with murder.
I'm just gonna hear this. I'm just like, I'm sorry. What?
You used magic on someone and now
To
they're dead.
stabilize.
Oh, stabilizing killed them. You're a murderer. Go to jail.
What?
You heard me.
After you left,
Hold on.
Them,
What?
they expired.
You used magic. They
That man
died.
was very much alive
That's
when I left.
murder.
That man was very much alive when I left.
Magic equals death equals murder. You can go in a cell now.
I'm sorry.
The order says that
Where is
murder
this
is
coming
bad.
Where is this? No, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Where is this wildness coming from?
You
Well,
used
raised his
magic,
hand, apparently.
and he's dead.
Styria, not sure if
Wait.
you saw it. RA-THERIS did raise his hand when that question was posed.
Indeed, they expired shortly after you used magic on them.
The magic that was used was me laying upon hands to stabilize him.
I cannot confirm
Apparently that backfired.
I don't know how.
He's dead, so apparently it backfired. You're a murderer. Go to jail.
Oh, this.
Oh my
So a quick note here. This is pulling from the chat. Going off of past instances of people prematurely expiring. Both NIAM and STIRIA would recall that there is an individual who can perform autopsies, and you could get a cause of death from that.
I look over towards Raj and she's like, "Coroner, please."
Oh,
Before
well,
close
while
of
they're
business.
getting the coroner, you
please,
can go
before-
sit in a cell.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to please hold your peace.
Why?
Hold your peace, please.
This sounds like
You
a rules
are
for thee and not for me
being
situation.
If you're gonna
of-
be levying accusations,
of
we're gonna
a
be going to court.
crime.
If you're let me speak. If we're gonna be levying accusations, we're gonna be going to court. So you're gonna want to save that until we get to court.
Oh, so then Zerris can come out of his cell because you levied accusations and he's in a cell. I'm levying accusations. You can go in a cell.
Sorry, Cleo. You have your hand raised.
We all look at you.
So, I may not know too much of anything of importance, but I'm pretty sure that when it comes to court law, that you should most likely have everyone involved, or at least at the crime scene, be detained until further notice, because any type of information like this spread out in public can be detrimental to the case. But I don't really know anything, so, you know.
Almost like I stuck myself here for a reason.
Hearing this, So Raj is just kind of sitting there watching all of this go down, and he's like, "Well, then it sounds like it's time for a sleepover." He just gets up, moseys on back, and there's a closet in the back, and he takes out some bedrolls, and he just comes out, and he's holding like 3 of them.
I want one.
And he'll hand you one.
I'm gonna look over to CLIO, who seems to be one of the only sensible ones here, and I'm just gonna ask, ma'am, if you could so politely do us all a favor.
Sure thing. What's up, hon?
Would you happen to know the coroner at
Oh,
all?
yes, absolutely.
Please
I
get
know
him over
almost
here so that we
everybody in
can.
the town. I mean, my parents are pretty popular.
Please get him over here so that he can assist with this ongoing investigation.
Okay, but don't talk about anything important till I get back. I've been taking notes.
Oh, we won't talk about anything important because Stiria's going in a cell.
Just immediately side-eyeing, and it's just like,
Rules for thee, not for me, Styria. Your privilege is showing. Your abuse of power is showing.
immediately
In this
side-eyeing. It's just like,
situation, to be honest, it might be best to just have everybody at least quote unquote detained here inside the chapter house, because at least that way no more information gets spread out. Because I mean, I'm a part of the public and I know everything. But again, I am the part of the jury, so that's probably a good thing. I can go get the coroner now. Bye! And I just leave to go.
go over to NIAM and just like, there was a reason I was posted here.
Then you can post yourself in a cell. Or you can go get Zerris out of his.
Does anyone want tea?
Yes, please, if you do not mind.
I would fight and die for Raj. Do you hear me? If anything happens to Raj, I will burn this house to the fucking ground.
If I may,
Raj is a kind and caring soul.
if I may you also pour a cup for Zerris? I will take it to him.
Add a character note, it's not that important, but like, Raj is most definitely one of Cleo's favorites in the town because he doesn't tell on her to her parents.
Oh yeah, no, Raj doesn't say shit. Elephants may never forget, but they ain't no snitches.
She's
So,
definitely not supposed to be here right now.
but Cleo, you are able to make your way over to the coroner's office. It's about half a mile to the north of the town. This guy, Balthazar, you know that he is a priest of Nox. Pretty mild-mannered. He's known you pretty much your whole life. He's just kind of always done that thing. He comes into town every once in a while. Kind of a nice guy, but keeps to himself. But yeah, you're able to you make it to his house.
Since I was a baby. Yeah, she's just gonna like slightly knock on the door and kind of just walk in. Like she
Okay.
does.
Yep. And he's kind of used to that. It's sort of a public building. So,
Hiya.
oh, hello.
Yeah,
What,
your presence is needed. There's gonna be a trial and it's getting pretty spicy.
do they need me right now?
Absolutely, there's a lot of arguing going on.
Does it have anything to do with this? And there's a body on the table. An individual that you do not recognize, despite knowing almost everybody else in this town.
That's another strange thing that's been happening. Who's that?
This is the individual that was brought into me from the guards not too long ago. I believe it's related to that
She just
that
writes it down.
string of cases.
She just kind of writes down his description and puts her notebook away.
Uh,
Probably.
Yeah.
If
and
he was
actually,
brought in from the guards, then most likely.
yes, just earlier today. If that is the case, then perhaps it would be better for me to conclude the autopsy, so that way I can actually provide them with a report.
Yeah,
I
they're
feel
over at
that
the
might be-
chapter house. I think everybody's having a sleepover. Raj is making tea.
It makes the best tea.
I know. He had stuff earlier. It's pretty great.
I see.
Also, if my parents come to try and find you out, you say you don't know where I am.
I never do.
Yeah. Don't worry, I left right after I made the food, though.
Well, I was told the trial was going to be tomorrow. Did you happen to hear a time?
No, actually, there was just too much arguing.
I see.
But
Well,
considering everyone's staying at the chapter house, then I think so.
okay. Well, I will send word to Raj then, asking for the time. But why not? I'll come with you now.
Okay. I do have a question, though.
Of course, dear.
Do you think I should stay at the chapter house so I can get more notes and info, or should I just stay at my mom's?
Which one do you think would make your mother worry less?
The one I don't want to go with?
Then that might be the wisest decision to go with.
But is it the correct one if I'm gonna be part of the jury?
I will leave that for you to decide.
You
And he's
always
going to give you like a
do.
little head pat.
Fine. I'll leave after everybody's gone to sleep, then I won't miss anything.
Little does she know. Moving on.
No, that's the trick. She saw an elf. She knows there's no. She knows she's there all night.
Big brain move. All right, I like it. I like it. So back to the house. Zerris, you have your tea. RA-THERIS, you do as well.
Excellent. I'm going to request orders from Zerris. Should he an auxiliary? Since he deleted all auxiliary orders, all I can think is cutting off people's faces. Does he have any specific messages he would like to convey?
I thought you were supposed to be standing down, calm.
I am calm. If you die, I will cut off their faces.
What was all the yelling in the other room?
STIRIA killed them.
What?
Or, NIAM believes STIRIA killed them. After STIRIA performed their magic, they died.
RA-THERIS, did you lie to NIAM?
I did not lie.
What exactly did you say?
STIRIA performed her magic, and after that, the individual died.
But that's not the entire truth, is it?
It is the truth of what happened.
But that is what we call a lie of omission, RA-THERIS. There are a great many deal of steps that took place between STIRIA casting her magic and then the individual expiring, yes?
No, there were approximately 2.
I need you to just wait. I will be free soon.
Understood. What shall I do in contingency?
There won't be a need for contingency, RA-THERIS.
I will need to bring you back, and there is only one cleric who's capable of doing that in this village. As such, I need to terrorize this village in order to make them obey.
Nope, that won't be necessary.
How many? What are my acceptable casualty rates?
None. 0. Absolutely none.
0 casualties?
0 casualties. No one will be...
It's very hard to remove a face without killing a person.
I need you to...
But you are right, that will cause more terror.
RA-THERIS, if the
Learn
worst
new
comes
skills.
to pass... my final words will be my final orders to you. Will that make you... more comfortable?
No. I need my contingency orders. You wiped all previous contingency orders, and all I can think is the removing of faces. But
Then-
you're more creative about this stuff.
Then the contingency is if the worst comes to pass and I am put to death, which, again, is the worst case scenario that I do not see happening. You are to ensure the children's survival. And make sure that they prosper.
Understood. I shall do everything in my power to ensure they rule this town as God Kings.
You know what? Acceptable. Progress. But you know what? That's better. Very good, RA-THERIS.
All right.
Understood. I shall ensure that this town lives in complete terror of them.
We're It's not going to come to that. It's fine. It's not going to come to that. It's not going to come to that. We're fine. It's fine.
It'll be fine, I'm sure. And after a short while, CLIO, you do return to the house with Balthazar in tow.
Did you put STIRIA in a cell? NIAM's not letting that one go. I'm just telling you now. She's getting in a cell, or Zerris is coming out. One or the other.
She probably would have capitulated by freezing her hands together.
That's not a cell.
But it is a restraint.
But that's not a cell.
But it is a restraint.
But she asked. But you're only making it worse because because it's not a cell.
I'm back. Corner's here.
Oh, hello.
Cool. Where's the key to Zerris' cell? I'm gonna go get Zerris.
Well, I mean, I have the key, but...
Well, good. Go let Zerris out. STIRIA goes in or Zerris comes out. In, out, in, out. One or the other. One or the other. You choose.
Now, Raja, we talked about this. You can't let people bully you.
Or I can burn the building down.
Or you can what?
Everyone relax. Jesus
I
Christ.
think some chamomile tea would be good. It really calms the nerves.
I think that the accused should be in the cell, just like the other accused is in a cell. Accused go in cells until the trial.
Isn't that why we sent CLIO to go get Balthazar?
Are
So,
you saying the trial is not
Balthazar-
required to destroy
right.
to dismiss an accusation? Is that how the legal system here works? Are you saying that
That's not
that
what I
we
said.
can? You just said that there
That's
is an
not what I
accusation
said.
currently sitting, and that Balthazar can eradicate the accusation without a trial. You are
So
skipping a
STIRIA
trial.
doesn't need a trial because the
But there's-
coroner is here, but
there's-
Zerris needs a trial because STIRIA said so.
I'm going to be honest with you. When people start yelling, I kind of just tune them out and let them fight it out. So I've been making tea for the past 10 minutes, and I'm not really tracking all of the details
If-
here.
Anything happens
cool.
to Raj, I will salt the fucking earth. No one will be left standing. Raj will survive.
I feel like that would be one of the
until
few ways of
end.
STIRIA going blackguard.
I will fucking murder Raj survives.
Raj is a kind and
everything.
caring soul.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna go through the door and go pick the locks on Zerris' cell. While Raj is making more chamomile tea.
The tea is just about done, actually. But if it would make everyone feel better, if STIRIA, if you were going to stay here anyway, if you would not mind just sitting in the cell adjacent from him, and then we will settle all of this in the morning. 'Cause-
Very well, I shall arraign myself.
Well, that was easy.
Waiting specifically for Raj to make the request.
Right.
Because NIAM did not have the authority over the knights.
Yeah. Also, these cells are designed for well, I mean, human-sized people for the most part. And the bars, so they are kind of just like that far apart.
They're more like windows, not bars.
A medium creature could not squeeze through them.
Hmm.
I will say that much. But it's a formality.
Styria is back in a cell with me.
Adjacent from you.
So what are you in for?
Our friend NIAM decided to accuse me of murder.
I'm so sorry.
Not your fault that she decided to accuse me of murder.
Tensions are high.
What I'm wondering is why she decided to accuse me of murder. Also, why am I talking to you about this?
Cellmates. Happens. It's actually how Derek and I met.
Is anyone talking back in the main part of the chapter house? Because if not, Cleo's gonna go where the action is. And right now there's 2 people on trial for murder.
Uh, NIAM
go
is
ahead.
muttering probably in a different language about hypocrisy and knocking someone off their tower, but it's probably an undercommon. She's just muttering.
Ah, yes, undercommon.
I
The
don't think
best
anyone
form
speaks
common.
that here. So your words fall on ears that do not understand them. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
In that case, she's gonna help Raj pass out the tea that he made, and then probably gonna go where the cell people are.
But Balthazar will have a quick exchange with Raj, really clarifying times for the trials and the things that he would need, as the autopsy hadn't been finished yet. But he's going to prioritize that and have it ready for the morning. So
Let me ask you, Sir Zerris. What did RA-THERIS do after I left?
Cleo's just gonna pop her head in.
Because to my knowledge, he should have only been watching the scene.
To, at risk of incriminating someone else, I'm afraid I'll have to hold my tongue, STIRIA.
As you said, we're cellmates.
And yet, you are still
Hiya.
my accuser. Hello. Wasn't Raj allowed you back here?
he was.
I was
Uh,
requested to
impression
sit
you were
back here.
bringing tea.
I guess you could say that.
Okay. It's
This is really a very chopped up trial. And considering that it's not even starting until tomorrow, it's very interesting how much information is being spread around. And I'm supposed to be part of the jury, so I'm just taking notes.
wouldn't that be a conflict of interest to have you back here then, if you're part of the jury?
Nobody officiated it yet, so I haven't broken any rules.
This feels like crime.
Takes one to know one, apparently.
Oh. Oh!
I think you'll find him, ma'am, by tomorrow. I won't be seen as an innocent man.
Oh, I have no opinion on the matter.
As a juror shouldn't.
Was there anything in particular that anyone would like to do before beginning the long rest for the evening and
Just
go into the trial tomorrow?
I'll be sleeping in the cell room because I'm a blob, and I don't necessarily want these people to know that because Zerris told me not to do that.
Mm,
okay. I will say a prayer.
Okay.
Agor, if you are watching, and I'm sure you are, still awaiting your great deception, I am afraid that you will have to wait for a while longer. Tomorrow I intend to tell nothing but the truth. That's it.
You mind if I get your names?
Zerris, and you are?
Cleo.
To make your acquaintance, CLIO. There's a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so if you don't mind, I'm going to turn in for the night.
Fine by me. And you? She's gonna look over at there.
I'm just gonna give like a pained smile, and then just respond. Oh, I'm just STIRIA right now.
Alrighty, good night. And she's gonna leave.
Yeah. Then Raj will poke his head in to the cell. I hope you don't mind. I do sleep with the door open, a matter of security and all that. Though I must apologize in advance. I have been known to snore.
God fucking damn it, Raj, you're one flaw.
Every good character needs a good flaw.
Hot take. I don't think that's a problem.
He's a Loxodon. What do you mean
Hot
that's not a
take.
problem?
I don't sleep.
You're right. You don't sleep, but you ain't getting water tonight.
I was about to say I am probably gonna have to do a fucking rest check because of that.
Water would be made available. I mean, that's
She needs
he's bringing you food, bringing you water.
She needs a lot of water.
How much water exactly do you need?
5 feet?
5
feet?
Enough to fit a small space.
Okay, so a good sized bucket can do the trick.
Something like 2.5 by 2.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's bigger than a bucket, my guy.
Yeah, that is a bit bigger than a bucket. Trying to think of an appropriate container that would have that.
He's
amount
not
of
getting water. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Out
There is.
of guilt, Cleo would go back to the inn for the night.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess she's not getting water, and that's the case. Then yeah, I will hide behind the door because I am small, because I am malleable, and I just become a ball. So I'll hide behind the door as I sleep on the ground, on the cold ground.
Aw.
And
It's fine. It's just the
yeah.
ground.
So Styria. I'm not sure how many buckets of water that would take, but it sounds like you need a sizable amount. So I might have to try and hook you up with that in the morning, if that's all right. Unless you have a workaround, but I'm not quite sure. Unless
No. I think NIAM's not going to let her have the water.
Yes.
I think it's clear. NIAM's not letting her have the water.
Which is why I'm gonna have to do like an exhaustion check
Okay.
because I will not be able to complete a rest.
Yeah. All right.
Understood. And just so I'm tracking, what was the amount of time that you needed with the water?
Minimum 1 hour.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Raj will probably think of something in the morning. When the more places are open and you can actually go out and get the water that you would need. But there's not really anybody available at the moment other than
I'm gonna have to make a Constitution saving throw real quick. Why are you on advantage? That should have been normal. 15 is a pass though.
Yep. So you are good for tonight.
So Styria is not suffering from exhaustion, correct?
Correct.
Excellent.
I had to make the check because I could not complete a rest.
Makes sense.
Totally understandable. So with that, we're able to roll right into the next day. Real quick, how is everybody feeling time-wise? Because we can definitely press with the trial now.
I've got another hour and a half. If I'm good.
How long is the trial expected to take?
That depends entirely on you guys. That's the amount of.
I'm out processing. I got enough time. Don't worry about me. I'm good with whatever. Everybody
Fair
else.
I was really just thinking of pushing it out to another hour, see where we're at there, and wrap it up if we need to. But how
All
do you
right.
guys feel about that?
Well, I guess
Up
NIAM,
to them.
CLIO, yeah.
I got two thumbs up so far.
I'm good.
Cool.
Go.
Cleo and Styria. Okay, Styria and Cleo. You are you're the deciding vote here. What do you got? You good for the trial? Good to keep going?
Another hour.
Another
We're
hour.
gonna extend an hour.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and press.
As a note,
Pressing.
DM, I'm gonna swap out Augury for enhanceability.
Fair enough.
Going for that deception route.
Yep. Now in the morning, there's some people coming in and out. Really just bringing Raj all the documents that he's going to need to give to the deacon. So people from the guards, Balthazar does return with his excuse me, autopsy report. Yeah, and close to the time in question, both Styria and Zerris, you would be brought out. Now, as a little note, just for the aforementioned snoring was quite noticeable. On the inhale, a very thick bellowing snorting, as it were, with an elephant sort of whistle on the way out as it came out of his nose. And it did not take him long to fall asleep. He was also quite a deep sleeper. So,
Snoring is like flexing on people that you're asleep.
it really is like just bragging about how good of a night's sleep you're getting. Just
Yep. Well,
really is.
making everybody else suffer.
Yeah. And I mean, just not at all sleep apnea or anything like that. It's bragging that you're sleeping.
Exactly. That's all it is.
If anybody watching has sleep apnea, I'm sorry.
I rescind his apology.
Oh, there you go. RA-THERIS has spoken. Moving.
This is the will of Zerris.
Okay, yes. But as I said, the reports were compiled, and not really much of a crowd it appears is turning out. As this not a very large building. Here, it's more or less taking place here in the chapter house. Excuse me. Brought out a little bit beforehand, and then you see an individual come into the room. Quite a sizable individual at that. I'm sending a picture to the in-character group chat for all of your references as far as who you see walking in. A large minotaur enters the room wearing some nicer. It's clear that he holds some form of position. This would be the deacon. Yeah.
Come what may, holy man.
Oh, Rose, what are you doing? Yeah. There's no need for the shackles here. If you would please take those off. And he will go and remove the manacles from you, Zerris. And Styria, I'm not sure if you had any.
I would have frozen my hands together
Okay.
as a
well,
sign
Raj,
of willful restraint.
Raj is gonna kind of like reach over with his trunk and just like snap the little chain there.
That was a block.
Well, I mean, if it was made out of ice, then just like just breaking the ice chain there. I'm not really sure
It's
how
basically
that works.
it's
Quick,
like a small bar.
quick
Yeah.
logistical question, DM.
Certainly.
The beds that we slept on, are they down stuffed? with like
Random stuff.
feathers,
Ooh.
or was it straw? Or
You know,
I asked
I
because
did
you said
have
it was.
to-
I was accused of special treatment, so I'm curious as to what exactly that
Who
was.
was accused of special treatment?
So I'm just curious.
No, the pillows were more of a straw material.
Okay.
So they were not the most warm throughout the night, but the Raj is a large individual and puts off a decent amount of body heat. So it was a little toasty in the smaller place.
Understood.
That's it. Also, Styria, in the morning, Raj would have arranged for some water to be brought so that you could get the adequate rest that you would have needed there. Now that he was able to actually go and get the process.
Probably qualify as a short rest, not as a long rest, because I had spent all that time without it.
Right. So you'll be able
That's
to get
fine.
more of a proper rest later, but he wouldn't have just left you with nothing. A quick reference to the comments. The water was meant to take place prior to the deacon's arrival. My memory is just not always the best, so
Yeah.
sorry that you had to suffer for a little bit longer, Styria.
It's fine. Shit happens.
But yes, the deacon comes in, and CLIO, you would have been able to come in and get your seat to this as well. Everybody just kind of sitting around the room, accommodating the best they can. Because the deacon walking in, he's a large creature. The Raj is by no means a small man himself, so it is a little cramped in here, but there is enough room for Zerris and Styria and the onlookers as well as seating for everybody. So the deacon will be taking his place at behind Raj's desk, and excuse me, he's taking the time to review the reports prior to initiating anything there. So
Are we still in our cells, though?
so you were he saw you from the back, and that's when he saw is like, hey, take the shackles off, all that. So that would be more, Raj went back to get you to bring you out to the deacon. So just for scene setting purposes. Excuse me. So now Raj is going to be doing that, bringing you forward, so that you can stand before the deacon. And as you come out, you can kind of see him fiddling with his ring, and you can hear him kind of muttering some arcane words. Excuse me. And as he fiddles with his ring, and a familiar wave of energy goes over the area, and there's little doubt in your mind that this is the aforementioned zone of truth.
I will not be making the saving throw.
Neither will I.
That is, and you said neither will you?
No.
Understood. And he will reach out to shake both of your hands as you approach. So whichever one is coming through first.
I'll allow Styria, if she would like. And I will cast message to RA-THERIS.
I'll be stepping forward and returning the handshake in kind.
And then your message to RA-THERIS.
I need a feather or fur or my holy symbol. I'm going to try to achieve my symbol. If not, I need fur of some sort. The Minotaur, his may do. Just a bit.
This is a place where a woolly mammoth lives, right?
Right, I forgot that motherfucker sheds, dude.
and it's warm, and I'm a slime. Can I just kind of, as I'm walking, pick it up with my feet? And then, I just kind of, once the shackles are off, I'm just gonna kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know the spell you're doing, but I'm gonna, pat you on the back, and, you're gonna feel the itchy bit here. Pat you on the
Yeah.
shoulder. You're gonna feel the itchy bit right here of the fur entering there, because slime.
I will grab it, and in this moment, I will quickly cast Enhance Ability, choosing Eagle Splendor.
Could you elaborate what that does for the viewers?
Eagle Splendor gives me advantage on Charisma checks for 1 hour.
Excellent. And I see here that it is concentration. Okay, easy enough.
If the deacon hits me, then we're gonna have bigger problems.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with the dead body then.
He is so large.
I'm not afraid of a minotaur.
And then he will extend, after shaking Stiria's hand, he will extend his handshake to you as well.
I will take his hand, shaking it, and say, "Sorry, this wasn't under better circumstances."
It rarely is, my boy. But I'm not here to mess around. I've got other things to get to. I'm here because Raj is a good old friend of mine. So I'm looking to make this nice and quick. Just get down straight to the facts, and we can all move on with our day. All I ask, you don't lie to me. We can get this shit cleared up real quick.
Of course.
He'll take a seat there. Now, with this here, I understand this man has passed, and I'm told, Styria, that is that's why you're standing in front of me today.
There have been accusations of murder levied against me, and I am here to prove my name.
Understood. And for you, Zerris, a number of things have been brought to my attention in this report, including excessive use of force. There we go. Attempted murder, or kind of extending from that unlawful use of force. And also, there's mentions of trespassing in here as well, acting without the proper authority to do so.
These are indeed the charges levied against me.
I see.
Are NIAM and CLIO are both present?
Oh, yes.
Correct?
Yeah, they are present. Yes.
Okay.
Excuse me. Which of you would like to begin?
I'd like to begin by... Zone of Truth has already been cast, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That was when he was messing with the ring.
I'd like to begin by clearing Stiria's name, if I may.
By all means.
Styria did not kill that man.
I see. Yeah. My report here showed, at least the accusation thereof showed that the accusation was that Styria had used her magic against this gentleman, and then afterwards he proceeded to expire.
That is correct. But Styria, much like myself in the moment, I issued the spell Spare the Dying, and she saw fit to... she did not trust me in the moment, so she cast a healing spell, laying their hands on the individual, making sure that he was stable.
Let's see. Well, I have here the coroner's report, and from this report, we can conclude that the cause of death was actually drowning. In my experience, the laying on of hands does not result in drowning.
As is my experience.
with that, I find no merit, as it were, to the accusations against her, at least in this instance, because the cause of death is not consistent with the magic that would have been used, unless there is something else that would substantiate that. I'm inclined to dismiss it.
A fair and just decision, sir.
Have you anything to say on that, Styria?
I'm willing to give you my personal account of everything that occurred during that event, up to including my own personal actions. Whether or not that clears my name is of little import. All that matters is that what I say is the truth.
Very well. The floor is yours.
Out of character, I'm going to go ahead and recount detail by detail exactly what I had said to Raj. Going step by step through each of the individual events, starting from when we left the bathhouse to Zerris seeming to have received a message from a companion who I am opting not to name unless the need arises. Right?
I will volunteer that name.
Well, if it's volunteered, then that will be the name that I will be using going further.
Okay.
But he will, immediately after leaving the bathhouse, he will have received a message from one RA-THERIS.
Keep my name out of your mouth, traitor.
If I may speak.
Please. And I would ask that there be no further disruptions to the court proceedings.
Forgive my outburst.
That wasn't directed at you.
Immediately upon receiving this notice, I followed Sir Zerris to the scene of the crime. At which point I had spotted Sir Zerris rushing towards the house, followed by the immediate sounds of magical invocations and conflict.
Now, just so I'm clear, Zerris, you had already entered the dwelling at this time. Is that correct?
After, I was the first to enter the dwelling, after our companion, yes.
I see. Please continue.
Following the sounds of conflict, I raced to the entrance of the house to see Sir Zerris and his companion engaged with the suspect. At that time, I saw conflict against a companion of mine and a fellow knight, so I levied my defensive aid by casting upon him an emboldening spell.
I see. Now,
one that can remove the edge of fear.
I see. Now, my question here. You mentioned that Zerris, your companion, was already inside the dwelling at this time?
Per my instruction, yes.
I see. And might I ask why?
We were chasing a murderer, sir.
I see. And you had confirmed at this time that this man was the murderer you sought?
No.
I had actually confirmed that already.
It was under suspect. It would be, if I was to say that in the zone of truth, I would have to make a save. We'd only really confirmed it after the fact, after he had been unconscious.
Yeah, but RA-THERIS will pipe up that. I had already confirmed that because He had. He confirmed that the lycanthrope was there, and the lycanthrope was the murderer.
I see. Now, it is to my understanding that you did not possess a warrant or any sort of writ of passage to enter this man's abode and conduct this investigation?
That's correct.
So at that point, Zerris, it is the matter that I'm curious here is, by whose authority were you acting in this manner, or in this matter?
If I might save that particular comment or after STIRIA has said her piece, sir. But I will
Very
keep your
well.
question in mind. It will be the first question I answer, I can assure you.
Very well. Then, Miss STIRIA, if you would be so kind as to continue.
It was during this conflict and immediately preceding my own personal use of magic on Sir Zerris. The suspect had become restrained in some kind of enchantment that froze his body's physical joints, making him unable to move. It was at this point that Sir Zerris had braced the haft of his mace against the man's windpipe and said, quote, "Give me one good reason why I should let you live." I believe that was what was said. Do not quote me, but I could be wrong. Out of character.
I see.
You
Zerris,
cast an
have you
emboldening spell on him. What'd you expect him to do?
Zerris, have you anything to say on this matter?
I don't regret my actions. But I'll let her continue.
Mysteria.
The initial threat, I admit, shook me to my faith. I had not expected a fellow companion to make such a remark towards an nondescript individual. But what had followed after was the use of offensive, life-draining magic against the suspect. Out of character, describing the inflict wounds spell.
Right. Yes.
I had initially
we also
warned
have to
Sir
record-
Zerris to please stand down, but he did not. It was at that point where I chose to intervene.
I see. Now, Zerris, if I may so inquire, why is it that you chose to not stand down?
As my companion has repeatedly reminded me, in our order, on technicality, I outrank her. However, I am not a tyrant. This is not why I didn't stay my hand. I was doing the right thing.
Area, if you would continue.
It was during this attempt at intervening where Sir Zerris had swung his weapon, making contact with the individual and rendering him unconscious.
I see.
Following that point, he finally stood down. I had requested that he leave the domain, for I was assuming responsibility on his actions, before seeing him cast an additional invocation upon the suspect. He claimed it was stabilize the individual. At the time,
Sure.
I did not trust his actions, considering the bloodlust that I had seen. So I personally stepped forward and poured some of my divine energy into him in an attempt to close his wounds and normalize his bodily functions.
Of course, of course. Zerris, if I may ask, the magic that you used was in fact to stabilize this individual.
Spare the dying, sir. Only stabilize, not to heal.
Understood. Mysteria, please.
Once I had, to my understanding, stabilized this individual, I had requested the individual to look over the suspect and to ensure that he remain cognizant for when the guards arrive.
Lies. She didn't actually do that. She wanted me to leave too.
So, Styria, with that,
Zerris.
Zone of Truth is in effect here. So, since you did not resist it, if this is in fact a lie, this would be made known.
I would have corrected myself.
That was. I had to resist you. Remember? You wanted me to leave. I had to resist you.
Correct. I had initially wanted you to leave so that I could control the situation, but I was convinced to take Sir Zerris with me to the Nightly Order, if I remember correctly. Again, if I remember correctly, it's been like 3 weeks since that session, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's more or less what happened. You just never gave me any instruction of any kind.
Copy.
Right. And that's why, as soon as I said that, it's like, I actually wouldn't be saying that. I would have to correct mid-sentence to what would be the truth.
I got you.
Because Zone of Truth would have forced me to say the truth without imposing a saving throw. Since I failed the initial save, I'm subject to it for the entire duration.
Right. Now, if I recall correctly, it doesn't force you to say the truth. Let me...
On a failed save, a creature cannot speak a deliberate lie while in the radius.
Yep, you right.
But it just caught in your mouth, and then you can course
Yeah.
correct.
Copy. Okay. Yeah, sorry, please continue.
Whether that would have been registered as Zone of Truth triggering or Styria correcting herself on the record will be open to the DM. But
yeah, I mean,
given that she was already willing, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm good with that. You
So,
made the attempt to
at that
course
point,
correct, so.
I had begun to escort Sir Zerris back to the chapter house to await this trial.
Let's see. Now, was there anything else, Mysteria, at this time?
During the time of the incident itself, no.
Understood. Mr. Zerris, the floor is yours, sir.
You asked me who gave me authority to enter the abode.
I did.
I am, as I have been since I joined the Order, a man of the gods, sir. The gods gave me the authority to enter that abode. What Styria says is true, save for a few small details. It wasn't bloodlust that caused me to kill that man. It was justice. He was our murderer.
He was a werewolf.
If you'll allow me to exposit, sir, your spell has a limited time. I'm very familiar with it.
It does indeed, but go ahead.
Every action I've taken in this town, in this city, has been at the will of the gods. because I am not but their servant. I serve Zerris, god of fortune and luck. I have brought fortune to children that have been forgotten by our very order. If you take a look at my symbol, I serve Dryoct, god of the weave, in the most pious of senses. I have used my magic to better the lives of the community and the children that I myself have taken in, again, as our order has forgotten. I serve Duo, god of balance. For yes, I have taken a life, but I've also saved a great deal of them here as well in the short time that I have been. And because of his death, even more lives have been saved. I serve Estar, goddess of fate. My actions were brash, yes. But I trusted Estar to guide my hand. I serve Hertho, goddess of spring, where I have ensured that these citizens will survive to see her gifts, and they will see the spring because of me. I serve Melnar, the god of the forge, for simple contributions to the local businesses, the local blacksmith I've made. I serve Nox, god of death, for I have given a soul to be judged to the dead. I serve Dea, goddess of winter. I have beseeched Dea so that the children I have taken in can survive, and not see her as cruel. I serve Oldir, god of community. Every action I have taken, I have done to better this community, including the so-called murder of this miscreant. I serve Omir, god of commerce, and I have served this god in particular for quite some time. But just in my short time here, I have contributed to the economy my own gold. Sacrificed. I wear no armor. It was not taken from me because I gave it freely so that I may distribute gold and wares into the local economy. I serve Rhea, goddess of beauty, family, and love, as I protected the children of this town as my own, and the town itself as my own family for the love that I bear it. I serve Rizdal, god of war, for I certainly have made war in this place. Against evil I have waged holy war in this town, when no others seem to. I serve Tathis, goddess of fertility, medicine, and renewal, for I have granted the town a way to renew themselves and the ability to survive past a murderer's sight. I serve Tirsa, god of life. I have committed every act in service of this particular god, against a man who was a threat to her gifts. I serve Thelius, god of law. No action I have taken is unlawful, not in their eyes. While yes, the men and women of this city may see it as unlawful, but true law comes from Thelius. I was assaulted by guards, used as mere bodyguards, as thugs, over paltry sums of gold. Tell me, was that the law that I am to serve, or the law of the gods? For I am a man of the gods. But make no mistake, I have done wrong, but not the accused here. Not with the charges levied against me. I have waged war against the gods as well. Cassius, god of carnage and slaughter, I fought the murderer, and he is dead by my order. Midia, goddess of disease, I have gone against the very plagues of this town. For make me no mistake, he was a plague. And he was diseased. I fought against Vitar, the god of famine, because I have ceased the grip of this particular god on the children that again have been forgotten by this order. But even after these slights, I am innocent of the crimes that are levied against me. Instead, sir, I pose this to you. I accuse the order of failure. I accuse the order of ineptitude. This order has failed this town, and the city has suffered greatly. You have failed to do what is necessary. Children go hungry in this chapter house's care. Whole families die under your watch. Innocent men hang under your watch. A body was found in his home. A child's body. Because of your hesitation, Deacon, is this not your domain? Because of your inability to act. I rest my case, sir.
Miss STIRIA, have you anything to add?
It's of no deception that our initial arrival within this town had not been the most favorable. An entire colony of orphaned children, by virtue of fear and mistrust, chose to steer away from not only the local orphanage, but from the chapter house and from those of well-meaning to fend for themselves and to have to resort to less than savory means of self-survival. I can attest that prior to this incident, the actions of Sir Zerris was to the benefit of this community. By giving those children a home, a place to stay, a place for them to grow and become true people, members of this well-meaning and earnest, if paltry, community. I cannot in good faith, however, stand aside as this has taken place. It is my belief that he has lost his way. But with correction, he can return to the light. With guidance and with protection from the forces of darkness, he can recover from this. So that one day he may return to this community what has been taken.
She just announced Nox. I asked NIAM. Fuck.
You just what?
Did she just announce Nox?
I don't know what she's doing, but she needs to shut her yap.
Agreed.
Suppose I shall end this by asking that you please, and I implore, to take his prior record into account when you come to your decision. And to give him an honest and fair assessment of what he has done and what he must do for the future.
Thank you. Before I say any more, and I have quite a bit that I need to say here. I have one final question for you, Mr. Zerris. Do you know who this man was?
No, Deacon, I don't. Nor do I care.
Filthy werewolf.
The man whose autopsy report stands before me was recently returned to this had recently returned to this village about 2 weeks ago. He was a prior resident here who had just finished serving his time for 10 years for murdering another gentleman. So you are correct that he was a killer. At least in that regard. Now, the evidence against him, yes, certainly is damning. And I'm in no way discrediting what you've brought forward with that. However, what I do need to say is that while it is certainly flawed at times, we do have a process to these things. An authority that we must act within the confines of. Now, you have brought a number of things to my attention, as this is not my domain. But the things that you have brought to my attention, I promise you, they are my problem now. The allocation of funds, the fact that children are going hungry in these streets, I find that to be absolutely repugnant, unacceptable. And that is something that I will personally be addressing. And so I would say to you, expect to see something done about that by the close of this week. If that requires more time to replace people, I will replace the people as I have bodies to replace them. If I find that they are incompetent to fill the position that they have been placed in. Now, that said, we must act within the law and not above it. And I found here that you took that into your hands. You had opportunities where this individual could have been subdued and restrained and brought to justice. And you chose to act inappropriately and take that into your own hands. Now, a monster he may have been, but you did not know that at the time that you acted. Suspicions, maybe. Go ahead.
You are damning him for attempting to save me from the werewolf. An individual I had already confirmed and portrayed that to Zerris.
So, and at what point did you confirm that this individual was a werewolf?
That confirmation came from circumstantial evidence, indicated by the fact that he appeared to have humanoid feet that suddenly transformed into canine feet on multiple occasions.
So
Additionally, I
you
was in
saw this
combat.
man's feet.
Indeed. Additionally, I confirmed that I was in combat with this individual and was being rescued by Zerris. To declare him as breaking the law when he was saving an individual from a werewolf attack is imprudent. There were exigent circumstances at play.
Now, so at which point did this gentleman reveal himself to be a werewolf and use that against you?
He never revealed himself to be a werewolf to me. He was very careful about that.
Even when his life was threatened?
He was preparing to do so. but fortunately he was subdued ahead of time. If not for his drowning, looks over at the water fairy, he likely would have awoken and been able to convert himself into his lycanthrope form upon that awakening.
I don't know how many encounters you've had with lycanthropes, but
He had an object capable of allowing him to immediately transform. It has been identified.
and yet he elected not to use it.
Likely because he
I
knew
find
if he
that
did. Likely because if he knew he did, he would be chased out of the town that he had recently returned to and be unable to continue his hunts. It also was in the process of being used when he was subdued.
You said this was something that would allow him to do so immediately, and yet he did not.
I said at will.
So when his life was threatened, that wasn't a good enough time to do that?
The item appears to have a charging period.
He's also been stalking the children that we've been protecting.
Indeed, he assaulted the Zerris' abode. They were likely food. Zerris knew I was going to confront him. This confrontation led to violence. That violence was backed up by my ally, and I expected two allies. I found an ally and an enemy, as one of my allies pointed their bow and shot at another.
I will say that while your intentions were good, and even the course of action that you sought was in the betterment of this community and the safety thereof, there are still certain matters in your procedures to do so that were not appropriate.
Damn your procedure, Deacon. It has been said that I acted in anger, or that I had lost my temper. I didn't. Only now am I losing my temper.
Additionally, our procedure may be flawed, but I was not inside the abode when the confrontation started. He brought the fight inside the abode.
I implore you, Deacon. Make whatever decision you will.
I love Zone of Truth. It makes people not question you when you're telling lies.
NIAM,
We were involved in this entire situation because a woman was killed and a man was unjustly killed for that murder.
A woman was killed and his child was taken, so he would willingly.
You are saying that we are supposed to act within the confines of the law, which we have already seen fail. They tried and convicted a man within 24 hours?
It happened.
And we found the real killer.
Indeed, the child at least should be resurrected.
yeah, the resurrection part, that is not my call to make. That it can certainly be arranged at the consent of the family, the surviving family, but that is not my call to make. I have no authority to stop you, but I also have no authority to approve such action. Now,
The question, though, still remains is that you wish us to act, you wish Sir Zerris to act within the confines of a law and a system that we have already seen fail. And the
Additionally,
order has one person here. That's it.
Yes.
He was and is higher in rank and authority than that. Acted within the authority of the order given a knight. His supposed brother of the order, sister of the order, violated order laws by defying the man above her.
And attempted assault.
You might want to consider that while you're considering this whole thing. You have one person in the order here until we arrived. A lesserling is accusing her higher ranking while trying to shoot them while we're trying to subdue a known murderer?
And lycanthrope.
Seems a little funny to me. She spoke of someone losing their path. Sir Zerris losing their path and needing to be put under someone's charge to make sure that he got back on that path. Yet, what path exactly is she following when she's violating rank and order laws herself?
As far as the insubordination, as it were, in this instance, Mysteria believed her superior to be acting in a manner that was not in accordance with his authority and duties. Whether or not she was correct on that, her belief on the matter at the time was sincere, and she took appropriate action. That shooting at him, no. But attempting to decline the orders or to call him out on his inappropriate behavior. For her belief in that was not out of line.
Her belief is more relevant than his belief? Is what you're saying.
Additionally, STIRIA actively declined knowledge about the engagement ahead of time.
Can you elaborate on that?
On multiple occasions, I offered to enable her to receive the same briefings that Zerris received. STIRIA has declined on multiple occasions the ability to receive those briefings through my magic. STIRIA continues to opt for ignorance rather than knowledge.
And I'm sorry, how is it that is the only way that information could be conveyed?
I conveyed that information through a mark on Zerris that was betrayed.
Who could
If
not
Zerris
then in turn relay this information? Is that what you're telling me?
It is within Zerris's power. However, a subordinate does not require the full picture of their superiors.
No,
That
but
is
they
the point.
require enough information in order to be able to make informed decisions on the matter.
They had enough information, and they
You just
declined
told
the
me that
excess
they didn't.
information. They declined excess information. They did not. They had enough information.
If that excess information was so pertinent, then it should have been included in the more essential information, should it not?
That is not my call.
You may want to re-up your spell, Deacon. Otherwise, make your decision and be done with it. As you said, you have many things to take care of.
Now, I will say, going into this, I don't think things such as imprisonment or even death is really even appropriate for this matter. I want to clear your head on that right now.
Receive a message. Faces will remain intact.
Because
It's like I knew what I was doing.
as it is my experience that those methods are not very effective at teaching people anything. It doesn't solve the problem, it just removes another piece of the puzzle. Now, there is clearly a lot of work that needs to be done here, and from what I can tell, for the majority of it, you've been doing fairly well. Getting those kids off the street and bringing the rest of these issues to my attention. As I said, I will have plans in motion over the coming days. As soon as I leave here, I'm beginning that initiative. But that said, moving forward, there are matters where you had behaved inappropriately, and that part does need to be addressed. The end results, honestly, between you and me, I probably would have made very similar decisions back in my youth. And I can't say that I'm particularly upset that that individual is no longer roaming these streets at night. With that in mind, I will be tempering the punishment for this accordingly to a far less severe one than I had originally inclined. Now that I have both spoken with you and reviewed these reports here. With that and with everything presented to me, you are going to be paying a fine of 1,500 gold and a suspension of your authority until such time that that debt is repaid. And with that, once that is done, this will be, as far as I'm concerned, done and over with, and everybody goes on our way, and this will be expunged from your record.
I hereby denounce the Order of the Violet Rose. I reject your punishment. You cannot judge me. As I said, I am a man of the gods. And if I am to be judged, I will be judged by the gods, for I have acted in their name. Not yours. None of this pathetic brick and mortar. I call Cyrus. I call Dryoct and Duo and Estar, Hertho and Molnar and Nox, Oldir and Omir, Rizdal, Rhea, Tathis, Turka, Thelius, and above all, Agor, so that he may see if I am deceiving you. I reject your order, and I reject your punishment. I call the gods to judge me.
Ooh. Really didn't want to pay that gold.
Oh, fuck.
Damn,
That escalated quickly.
that escalated very quickly.
So it escalated at an appropriate rate?
Still pretty quickly.
Nah, it's fine.
And if I may, DM, I
Of
would
course.
like to argue in favor of making a religion check with my charisma stat instead of my my wisdom. Or is it
Certainly.
intelligence?
So with just
It's
with this
intelligence.
check, Yeah, I believe it is normally, but if I suppose make your case for it. What is it you're trying to do here?
I am trying to call the gods to at least witness what I am doing here, and that they may. This is less of a prayer and more of a. Honestly, more of a demand. This is truly a persuasion check, so that I am not entreating their kindness or mercy. I am calling them to judge me. I submit to their judgment, but I will not be judged by this order.
Question to try to help him along: is this place considered a holy place?
This place? No, I wouldn't say so.
No shrine of any kind?
Mm, not
Gods can
particularly.
hear more closer to their
Ah.
shrines. So that's why I'm asking. Like they have better hearing near their shrines. So like if this building,
You know-
being a place of this order that's a holy order, has
That
any
makes sense.
shrine,
That makes sense.
the god that shrine, the gods or god that
Captured
shrine
house
is
itself would
dedicated
have
to.
holy order. The captured
Yeah,
house itself would have holy power.
Yeah,
right.
It would be
should-
hallowed
makes
to some
sense.
extent.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
And
I
that-
could see at the very least Thelius,
Yeah.
god of law.
yeah. Just to help that
So-
along, I'm trying to help him as best I can through that kind of stuff. That
I
God's-
got you. Zerris, go ahead and make your check.
Understood. I'm gonna have to do this just kind of hand jamming it into the Roll20. So forgive me
yeah.
for my because it is
No
with
worries.
a separate. What is
It's-
this? No, make
Correct.
Can anybody help him with this?
I already have advantage on this.
Okay,
Yes,
never
yeah.
mind. Shutting up. I'll be over
I
here in my
mean, me
corner.
personally,
But I
I would have
mean-
just rolled, but does this mean that he quit?
Indeed.
So
He's
I
This
will-
means
sworn
that he
off
is-
the order.
This means that he has unshackled himself from
There's-
his slavers.
1, and there is 2, plus my prof, which is
6
14, plus
Yeah.
my religion, which is that is a 16.
Okay. So, before we get into what everybody else sees, we're going to get into what you see, Zerris. It's almost like, have you ever had those instances where you're in a very dark room and somebody turns on the light?
Yeah.
Blinding for a moment. And then you find yourself in an a large, empty, white space. The ground underneath you appears solid, but everything is just plain white for as far as the eye can see. And you hear a voice, or rather 3 voices, and they're speaking in unison. Why have you called out to me?
Because I stand wrongfully accused by the laws of man.
I see. On which count do you find yourself to be wrongfully accused?
This deacon accuses me of my youth, clouding me. I was unclouded. I have been accused of acting in anger and haste. While I acted in haste, I did not act in anger. I have been accused of not submitting to the proper authority. I submit to yours, and yours alone. I am a man of the gods, and I will be judged by the gods. Not by an order that has stood by and watched children starve, or let families die, or let innocent men hang. Nor by a corrupt government that allows guards to be used as thugs, or innocent men to be hanged in mere 24 hours of finding not even a confession, not even a proper confession. I will be judged by the gods, for I have full faith in their sight and theirs alone. Whatever you see fit to do to me, I will sing your praise.
I must warn you, subjecting yourself to my judgments is unlike any other. If I deem it appropriate, you may cease to exist. Do you still accept my judgment?
If this would be the case, then the last words on my lips will be a thank you. I submit.
And with that, it almost feels as this jolt of electricity is going through your body, as if this individual is looking over every aspect relevant to this. Now, for what everybody else sees in the room, Zerris is now levitating probably about 2 feet off of the ground, and his eyes are glowing bright white.
The master ascends.
Great. I gotta put my hand on the blob so he doesn't do anything stupid.
The master is ascending. Upon his
And-
success, he will be greater than ever. It begins.
Free will. Think for yourself.
I am. If the master doesn't, if the master ascends and we do not listen to him, he will kill us.
Oh god.
And from Zerris, you are hearing this, but it is not his voice. It is the same 3-pronged voice, that speaking in unison, stating, "This man acted rashly, but his convictions were true. We find him not guilty of these charges. That said, it would beseech you to acquire more wisdom and to behave in a manner accordant with that wisdom." And as quickly as it appeared, that blinding light will just go out, and Zerris, you will plop unceremoniously to the floor. This is not enough to cause you any falling damage. Not the most pleasant experience.
I imagine I am feeling fairly weak.
You are. You will be gaining a level of exhaustion from that, as that was a very invasive process.
Yeah.
I'll help you stand.
As you do, I'll look squarely in the deacon's eyes. There you have it, deacon. I walk an innocent man. Would you defy the gods and stop me?
The gods have spoken.
And I will look to NIAM. And then grip RA-THERIS' hand. Faith. And I will step out of this place and make my way to the children.
Okay.
Following him.
Yeah, you said you gripped my hand. I assume you didn't let go, and I'm tagging along.
If you kindly.
And
yeah.
Prior to your departure, Zerris, you can hear the deacon turn to Raj and begin talks of their plan moving forward. As
Playing into Raj. Is this deacon now the arch nemesis of this entire town?
Oh, no.
This is Raj's failure.
No. Raj is but one elephant man in an overworked, underfunded system.
Yeah, so
Exactly the kind of guy.
Shut
The,
fuck
ki-
up!
the kind of guy you lay into when they fuck up. Yeah,
I swear to
that's why I'm
God, if
asking.
Raj hangs, you're gonna be the first one to boil.
It's not my fault. He was built to be the perfect patsy for
Shut
this.
fuck up! No.
I didn't point this out.
So, true to his word, the deacon will be looking into changing some things around here now that some of those issues have been brought to his attention. He's certainly not pleased about that. And so I will say, Zerris, you have definitely implemented some change here. In a way that I hadn't expected, admittedly. But that was absolutely a stellar performance.
I'm sweating.
And yeah,
Did great.
Yep.
This town should serve you.
Out of
So-
character, Mama Ramos. I knew what I was doing.
I believe you.
no, absolutely great. Personally, Zerris, I am inclined to give you a point of inspiration for that performance because
that was
top
fucking
notch.
gold. That was fucking gold.
I mean, I was living for the drama the whole time, so
I was shutting the fuck up. It was like watching a fucking soap opera. It was like watching Law and Order.
I don't know. I'd go that far. Law and Order's pretty low bar.
Now, real quick, Styria, I do need you to elaborate on something here.
Yeah.
You mentioned something of a false accusation in private message. So I'm curious if you could elaborate on that a little bit so that I can better answer you in an open forum.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Who's gonna put me under watch? Basically, I'm good on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you fucking bet.
So I wouldn't. So, I'm sorry. Are you talking about a false accusation against NIAM or the charge itself against you?
The one specifically against me.
Okay. Well, if I recall correctly, that one was determined that you did not have a part in that because
Promptly
lay on
dismissed.
hands does not drown people.
Yet
So
somehow
while the
water got
individual-
his body.
Yeah, so while the individual did die, you didn't do that.
They can't
by lay on
find any.
hands. Well, you had already left the scene, so there's not really anything to tie you to that. So that is why that was dismissed as it was. Excuse me. However, the deacon does have something else for you, Styria, if you hadn't already left. Just clarifying, because I don't think you said you did.
I would be waiting until I was dismissed.
I see. Excuse me.
With the deacon here, he is the position of authority, and considering the state of what's going on, I would have had to stay until I was dismissed.
Sure.
It's custom.
Right. So following those proceedings, it is. How do I want to say this? Hysteria, before you are dismissed, it is of my opinion that you did behave in accordance with your beliefs to the best of your abilities. And I believe that, especially moving forward, this town is going to need someone of sound mind. I was going to try and offer this to your friend as well, but he decided to, well, you saw.
He has unshackled himself from the laws of our order.
He has. And I sincerely wish him the best. As far as you, though, I think that there's a matter that needs to be addressed, and that being that there's now a vacancy in the position above you. And as such, I feel that it is appropriate to establish your promotion. So, if you have some time, we can take care of that now.
Appreciate your words of encouragement. I forgive my candor, but I must speak honestly on this. I don't feel ready to assume the position of a knight gallant. I'm afraid.
I see.
I am afraid I'm not. I'm afraid of being unable to restrain myself should the need arise. As unfortunately, I failed to do so in this instance myself, despite my best intentions.
You did. Now, on that note, it is my experience that those put into higher positions, such as this, I personally find it to be a warning sign, a red flag, if you will. If at the first opportunity they so foolishly believe that they are ready for such a position, because quite frankly, they seldom are. But it is those that move toward such a position with that same sense of humility and willingness to learn from their mistakes, as you have shown, that tend to shine the brightest when placed into those positions.
I am honored, good sir. I know not what time will bring. Whether I will bring this position the respect it deserves. Whether I would act in accordance with the laws and customs such a position demands. I know not. Though if I am granted a chance to grow with humility, I would be willing to take that first step.
And I think you're going to grow into that position just fine. Now, in order to initiate this, I trust you have the appropriate stone required.
Gonna go ahead and rummage through my pack and go. Oh, hang on. Knew it would come in handy. Thinking out loud. And just gingerly opening up the pack and holding it like you would hold a babe.
So Rhea brought you that one. You can tell from the type of stone, she's really fond of that. So what would ensue after this is the ceremony spell. Essentially, or more specifically, excuse me, let me pull this up here. So this would fall under the dedication aspect of it. Now, if I recall correctly, you're not exactly a humanoid, but this isn't like a traditional ritual that would fall under that. So it is going to hold the same effect for you. So following this, for the 24 hours that follow, whenever you make a saving throw, you can roll a d4 and add the number to that save.
For the next day.
For the next day, correct. And that will be in addition to the benefits that you will be receiving upon the completion. As here at this moment, we get to witness a pretty unique event, and that being a paladin taking their oath.
I'm willing to follow your lead on this.
So yeah, as the ceremony is coming to a close, so the slab is in front of you, and throughout the ceremony itself, which does take an hour, as the powder, the silver powder necessary is sprinkled throughout, and the markings on the floor kind of creeping their way into the slab itself before forming as well as some forming into you, and then a string of sorts, I suppose you could say, connecting you to this slab. And at this point, the deacon Barrios would ask you to recite your oath. And as you do so, it becomes inscribed into the slab itself.
I would follow that in with, so do I swear never to let deception leave my mouth, for my word is my promise. So do I swear never to fear to act, guiding my hand with caution and wisdom. So do I swear to aid all others, to protect the weak, and to punish those who may threaten them. So do I swear to show mercy to my foes, but to temper it with wisdom. So do I swear to treat others with fairness, and to let my honorable deeds be an example to them. To do as much good as possible while causing the least amount of harm. So do I swear to be responsible for my actions and the consequences they may bring, to protect those who are entrusted under me, and to obey those who have just authority over me. In this day to my last day, does my oath become my bond.
And so Barrios will place his hand on your shoulder and say, "Congratulations." And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Hell yeah!
That was a very wild ride.
Absolutely.
Holy
100%.
fuck!
In the meantime, though, Zerris, you've got our plugs, where to find us, and all that other cool things.
Yeah. So we'll begin where we start in the week. Wednesday we usually do our gaming streams. About we're swapping the time over to 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. However, this week I'm gonna have to cancel that due to some scheduling conflicts. But normal circumstances we would be streaming Wednesday, just a gaming stream between some of the nomads and myself, and we just kind of choose a game and we just go for it. 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at twitch.tv/rollingnomads. Thursday we've begun our Witcher game, our actual play with some lovely people at I almost said at, like as if they were a part of an organization, but at the Azure Butterfly and at Druid by Night, a aka Luna and Azure. They're playing with us as well as a longtime Nomad, Edge the Nomad. He's in the chat currently. They're doing some Witcher stuff. We got a bear, a viper, and a mage, and shit's already getting pretty fucking crazy. I love the dynamic of the group. It's really fun. They've already uncovered a Nilfgaardian plot, and we left off last combat on a cliffhanger right before combat with a Garcane, a vampiric creature that wants to eat them. But that's Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/WillingNomads. Fridays, we have our Hunter Akaldama, our interim program, our little mini-series between Book of Saints seasons, where we see the world through mortal eyes, through hunter eyes, as they take a deep dive into Mexico City and see what exactly the resurgence of the Sabbat pack known as the Saints means for Mexico City as a whole. But that'll be at 5 p.m. 5:30? What fucking time do we do that?
I don't know, man.
It's on our schedule. I believe, I want to say it's at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If
Fair
I'm,
to
We'll
it's
correct
5.
it on Twitter if it's wrong.
Listen, we're gonna say 5. If you're there,
It's 5.
if you're there at 5, you're early.
Edge is saying
There
it's
you
at
go.
5:30. Everyone's saying at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so I'll go off that. If it's not, then you can check our Twitch for the schedule itself.
It's
but yeah,
Edge. He's leading you astray.
I don't know that. Hunter Akaldama, of course, again, our mini-series between Book of Saints seasons. Saturday, we have a little bit of a break. We just kind of stay off stream. We kind of just take our time to do things for ourselves, do our own games and such. And then Sunday, we have over on twitch.tv/The Onyx Path, our Scion game has reached new heights. They have, they're doing stuff. It's at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're on twitch.tv/The Onyx Path, and they are, the Scions are, they're making waves. They are quite literally making waves. They raise an island just 4 inches higher than it should be, and they've...
Hey, don't put that shit on me. I didn't do that. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the situation.
Cersei,
All game.
Do everything.
Cersei is not as pleased as she could be, but it's fine. She got a baby out of it. So there's context missing there, but you'll have to watch to figure out what the hell I'm talking about. And that's at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at twitch.tv/The Onyx Path for context.
Just a baby. It's fine.
After that, of
just
course, 2 hours after end time of Scion, we have Cold on Twitch's Wit, which you've just witnessed at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for this, run by our illustrious Dungeon Master David, where we solve murders, we fight one another, and we one of us doesn't learn the consequences of their actions, so I'm sure that won't have any repercussions in the future. I'm sure that he won't become an
STIRIA.
insufferable
insufferable little shit.
It's STIRIA.
Hey, listen here, you little shit.
But yeah, that's right here on
I don't work for you.
Twitch.tv
Listen here, you little shit.
Twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads. Right here for Cold on Twitch's Wit. Again, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's all I got.
Absolutely.
Wait, no, that's not all I got. I lied. We have Twitter.
What?
We have Twitter and
Yes!
Hive. That's where you can keep up to date with all of our programming and such. Any late starts, any cancellations, any new programs and such. We are getting quite a big schedule. So rather than just have me spiel it out and take full 5 minutes of your guys' time, by next week I'll have a little PNG, a little JPEG or a picture that I put up that shows our stuff. That way you guys don't have to go rush to the Twitch and see what our scheduling is like.
Awesome.
But for the time being, on Twitter we are @_Rolling Nomads, and on Hive Social we are @Rolling Nomads. That's where you can find all of our stuff and all of our information at. Of course, these episodes do get uploaded to YouTube. Now that my marketing class is done, I'm playing catch up on YouTube uploads. I almost got a B. I was 0.44% away. It's okay, baby. C's get degrees. Yeah, but now
And
that's
after you get your degree, nobody cares what you got in the class.
Oh, green line.
now that that's done, I'll catch up on YouTube uploads. These will be uploaded as soon as
5
humanly
episodes get
possible.
uploaded, if I remember right.
Yep, 5 episodes. So I will take care of that, and we'll get these things caught up on our YouTube.com/Rolling Nomads. That is all I got. Thank you so much, David.
Of course. And Liam, now that you're back, I just wanted to say, absolutely, you killed it today. That was awesome. Just watching you rip into everybody. Just, if I could have given you a point of inspiration for that beautiful display, I would have. But you already had one. So I was like, darn, the limit at 1. But Bravo.
Thank you.
The only rule that counts is don't break the crystal spheres.
That is true.
What?
But
Huh?
we'll get into that later.
That's there, not here problem.
Exactly.
No, that's the point. He can break the rule.
Guys, I gotta go to work.
Yep.
Yep.
He's got to go to work.
Bye!
I gotta go do things. I gotta go to work tomorrow. We will see you guys next
Real
time.
quick, I be risky. I'm a gaming. I do gaming streams now.
Yes. Go
I've
ahead,
got my
plug your
channel
thing.
at twitch.tv/RiskyReds, where I do Genshin Impact content at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Cool.
Players of Genshin Impact who tune into my stream will be eligible for Twitch drops. For each interval of time that you watch the stream, you will be given a list of rewards.
Cool.
Higher watch time means greater rewards. At the end of the 2-hour interval, you could be rewarded with up to 30 primo gems.
No idea what any of that means.
I don't either, but hey, you know what?
Okay.
That sounds like a good thing. Go check them out. That's Risky Reds with 2 Ds, by the way.
Yep.
And yeah, okay, yeah, I think there's links in the chat somewhere.
Hey,
figure out all
Edge,
that.
thanks for the shout out.
Absolutely. So with that, I have nothing else for you guys. If nobody else has anything, go on.
I don't
It's time
exist.
for a raid. I guess it's time for a raid.
Hey, yep, stick
We
around
have-
for the raid.
We have gone over a certain time that we have no one to raid. So over the time being, especially since
I
I'm
recommend
to work,
someone.
we will we'll cut to our screen. We'll deal with it afterwards. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
we'll figure it out.
Hey.
So yeah, until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We've been the Rolling Nomads, and thanks for joining us.